Buzz, do you sense any similarities in just the guys' psyche, for lack of a better word, coming into this tournament as compared to the last 2 years?
I would say we have more experience going into this tournament than we have in any other year. I guess Mo and Four have played in the finals both of their first 2 years.
And Henry.
Yeah. And Boots, then, for that matter. So I know one year it was in Nashville with those guys, and then 1 year it was in Tampa. 1 year we had a single bye, 1 year we had a double bye. Yeah, I think for whatever reason, I think our kids still enjoy being around one another. I think they're still trying really hard. I think they are receptive to whatever the coaches are asking them to do. I know not all teams are like that, but I think our guys are good people, and they're excited about what's ahead.
How exciting is it to see Manny emerge into, I know a lot of the players say he's like this at practice, but to see it come to fruition on the court and him getting named SEC Player of the Week?
Yeah, I think he's due any attention and praise from the outside world that he can get. I have great admiration for who he is and his willingness to hang in there. As I've said, I've pretty much said the same thing, and we'll keep saying the same thing because I think it's so rare. His group, his people, his mentors, 1,000% loyalty to us, to our staff. In truth, I think Mo probably stopped talking to him because they were saying the same thing I was saying. And I appreciate that. Whether he scores 100 points or he doesn't score, I think some of that is coming around in a positive way. And like I told him, he sent me a very kind text whenever that came out. And I've kind of stayed away from my phone, so I don't even really know any of that stuff anymore. And it was so kind. And I said, there has to be some lessons in here, and we'll probably be able to think through them in the spring sometime. But you might be an example to somebody we don't know. And so let's just make sure we handle it in the right way. Because he handled all the hard things the right way. And so let's make sure we handle all the good things in the right way as well. And it just speaks to who he is. And I think it speaks to the adults that are around him. And in a world that's pretty volatile in this business, for that to be happening in this day and age, I stand at attention and respect for Mo and for his family.
But is it more than coincidence that with Manny having, especially these last 2 games, really going off the way he has, that Wade has kind of broken out of the shooting slump he was in, and at the same time that Manny's been,
Well, I think anytime we can have somebody else score, I think it helps. And I think Mo would say this and Four would say this after 18 conference games. We're not consumed or concerned with the name of that person. We'd just like it to be a few people. And, if there's maybe multiple people on the floor at the same time you have to guard, it may loosen it up for a few other guys. And so whether it's Mo, whether it's Boots, whether it's Four, Jace, Andy, anybody, Henry, Jay Lee for that matter, we need some guys that can score, and that helps.
You said this was, probably the most experienced team going in. Is how much does that play a factor this time of year, this kind of basketball, and why do you feel like this team is ready for this kind of 4 games, 4 days, backs against the wall, and this kind of environment?
Well, I think that the experience is what's got us to this point, just to be transparent. I don't know that if you have an immature group that they can overcome all that's transpired. And will it help 4 days and 4 games and all of that stuff? I don't know. We need to try to be really good on Thursday. And I know that sounds coach cliche, but in truth, that's what it is. Their experience and their togetherness and their fight is what has allowed us to even be in this point. For the most part, I think everybody had kind of marked us at 6-12 when we were 6-9. So whether that's you or anybody else, I think the experience of our group is probably what's allowed us to keep hope alive, and hopefully we can do it however long we can do it.
And speaking of Thursday, when you just played Ole Miss and you got them again as a coach, is it more challenging? Do you like that you've just seen the opponent you're about to play, or
Yeah, it's never happened in my career, and I haven't been doing it as long as a lot of coaches have. But to play them on Saturday and then play the same team, whatever that is, 5 days later, I don't know if we've handled it the right way or not. Our guys are not the smartest group, but they're pretty smart. And we kind of have a routine 2 days before and then 1 day before. This will be our third game in 45 days with them. So we show them clips. We talk about things we need to improve on. But, it's not like we need to say number 5 is offensively explosive or 33-3 are really good offensive rebounders and try to block every shot. Like, they already kind of know that. So have we went about it the right way? I don't know. Is there some familiarity that helps? Sure, but the opponent has the same familiarity. We split. That's the truth. We won at their place. They won at our place, and now we're going to play a neutral site game and see who wins the series, I guess, if it's best 2 out of 3.
You kind of combine your film review and also just because of the circumstances, as you're going through just reviewing how the last game went, just kind of also make note of this for when we do this kind of like a combined session, I guess.
Yeah, I think and again, I don't know if it's the right thing. We study the first 5 games leading up to our first game, and then we study that game. And I think I mentioned it the other day. There were 10 games in between the first time we played Ole Miss and the second time. Normally, there's not that many. Sometimes there's probably too few. I think Missouri, there was only 3 games in between. But so then we studied those 10 games. And you just try to. I'm real simple, so study every possession in our game, and then watch the next 10 games and study every possession and add to it whatever they did in our game, and then kind of see what correlates. And then obviously we've done it the same thing since Saturday's game. Sometimes how we play defensively changes what teams run more of or less of. And so we kind of have a good feel for that. And then as the years goes, obviously this is Coach Beard's first year in the league, but we just kind of have a notebook of that information anytime we play that opponent. And so whether they were a mirror or not, in our 5-year tenure, here's all of that information each time we've played that team.
What do you think y'all have to do in Nashville for you to feel secure about getting into the NCAA tournament?
Win the tournament.
Is win or all?
I mean,
based on what's happened before, is that why you feel that way?
I think it's probably best I don't say anything.
But how would you like you and your team to handle the balance of using the bubble conversation to motivate you guys, but also not being too consumed by it?
Yeah, again, I don't know honestly if I handle any of that the right way. I just tell them the truth. I thought we played pretty good Saturday, and I'm thankful for how the last week and a half closed, particularly relative to how the previous 2.5 weeks had transpired. And we work 9 weeks in the preseason. We always start the day after Labor Day. And we kind of, yesterday took a few minutes and chronologically went through those 9 weeks, what we do, where we do it, how we do it, a little bit of why we do it. And, you know, letting each person have their turn, having ownership in the conversation, the scrimmage against Baylor, the scrimmage against Texas Tech, all the things that you guys know. And then 8 weeks of non-conference. And we went through every single week. Hey, you guys remember who we played the first game? You remember what day it was? Where we play the next game? How many road games did we play? How many home games did we play? Hey, did Boots play that game? Did Henry play that game? And their memory is really sharp, you know, and you can take them back to that time and that place, and they can rattle off things that you would be startled by. It was really fun. That was 8 weeks of non-conference. And then, so that was 17 weeks going into conference play. And then we just played 10 weeks of conference. And so that's 27 consecutive weeks of work. And now this is week 28. And are we in? I don't know. I don't know who's on the committee. I do not participate in politics nationally. I've never been on a committee of any sort. Honestly, I'm not even good at politics at Texas A&M. It's just not my gift. I don't think it's my calling. So we're in week 28, and we would like to play as many games this week as we can. And if we're good, then we'll play more games this week than any of the previous 17 weeks of the season. And I guess it would be 18 weeks. So where will that be the next time that I talk to you guys, and what will the tenor of my conversation be? And I don't know. And I want to leave my ego out of it and try to do the best I can to help our guys, and hope that they are their best when we need to be at our best.
You mentioned your guys all playing for each other and together still everything. If it didn't work out, do you think those guys want to play in the NIT?
It'd be up to them.
Yeah. What's the value in playing in it?
I don't know. We need to try to play Ole Miss if we can. And next time I talk to you, I'll try to talk to you about whatever's happening that week.
What can you attribute to, it just feels like this last stretch of games, the quick start, that first 5 minutes has really been outstanding. Do you feel like that is what's been clicking so well for this team to get back?
Yeah, I only talk to coaches that are fired or retired, mostly, or both. And it's ironic that you would ask that. I try to talk to one retired coach and one fired coach each day on my walk, and 3 different coaches have said that. And I was like, oh, yeah, that is rare for us that we're not climbing out of a hole. I do think that it's helped. I think the thing that I mentioned Friday that has continued to correlate is turkeys, how many consecutive stops we can get, our defensive rebounding percentage. We did a really good job on the glass on Saturday. That's been a part of it. Our ability to get fouled has for sure helped, and our ability to defend without fouling. And so is some of that intertwined in a fast start? Yes. But I think those are the things over the last couple of weeks that we've tried to pay more attention to and bring more awareness to, because I think that that's translated in helping us win.
Speaking of retired coaches, Jay Wright on the broadcast was talking about how after Manny's first miss, that kind of, I think it was an air ball 3, that you guys kind of set up a play for him and kind of got him going almost. Is that kind of what works for Manny, is to kind of get him going, get that first dunk, get that first free throw, to kind of get and get that confidence?
I mean, obviously I have a great relationship with Coach. I don't listen to any of the broadcasts, but I I'm not exactly sure the sequence that you're talking about. I know I did a draw up for Boots that was really good. That probably helped all of us. I don't remember doing a specific draw up for Mo, but it may be a play for Mo. And I do think he has spurt ability. Sometimes that's real good, but obviously it can go in the negative direction too. He has been a part of helping us. It helps him, but it obviously helps us. Some of it is starting fast like we did. But I think with each passing game and each passing practice, obviously he's gaining confidence with the level that he's played at, and his teammates are gaining confidence. And a couple of our other guys are playing pretty well too, and so now we're a little smoother around the edges, and so hopefully we can keep that going.
All right, gotta head to the